this big bump right here. So if you look at this, we have a moving from left to right, kind of a pretty steady increase until a year ago. And what happened a year ago?
The COVID.
That was the shutdown, and that was the aggressive attempt to rescue the economy that has been shut down. This big jump right here is what that attempt looks like. So we went from, I'm trying to get this. You guys can see these dates moving, right? Okay, good. Sometimes it doesn't work with the screen share. So February, let's go to, let's see if we can really start that. Here we go. March 16th, we were at 15.7 billion. Almost a year later, we're at 19 billion. So we added we added about $4 trillion over the, and actually it's about 5 trillion once you go to the start of the recession here. So we added almost $5 trillion to the economy over the last year. Compare that to the previous 5 trillion, which was over the last 7 years prior to that. So in 7 years, we added a 5 trillion, and then in a year, we added another 5 trillion. So this is what that aggressive movement was to help stimulate the economy. We're going to look at that number. We're going to look at this past year in a lot more detail. Like I said, this was a good year to teach economics. Everything we talked about happened. But that's what the money supply looks like over the last 20 or so years. All right, questions on that? All right, we're going to talk a lot about the economic impact, why it increased so quickly, what the short-term economic impact and what the long-term economic impact is when we get into monetary policy. But before that, we've got
a question.
Yeah.
When that money was added to the economy, was that through the use of stimulus checks and other aid?
No, so the stimulus check, that was fiscal policy. That was money being spent by the federal government. And that was increased through the use of debt, so selling government bonds. This is different. We're going to talk about how this money was created. And I will have a perfect answer to that question in 2 weeks. No, sorry, in a week and a half. So the first thing we talk about after the quiz will be kind of how this money comes to be, how this money goes into existence. So I will answer that question, I promise. Good question.